I guess Max and Trevor. Who's Trevor? Who's Trevor?
It's Tyler and...
What's your name?
Travis.
Bob? Hey everybody, welcome to the Aggie Game Day Extra podcast. I'm Nick Kuzma. This week, a special guest as we talk to head coach Trisha Ford, the head coach of the Texas A&M softball team, ahead of their NCAA Tournament regional. The Aggies are hosting for the third year in a row. Without further ado, let's hear from Trisha Ford. We're here with Trisha Ford, the head coach of the Fightin' Texas Aggie softball team ahead of the Bryan College Station Regional. Trisha, 4 consecutive NCAA tournaments for you as the head coach of A&M, 3 straight regional host bids. Just how proud are you of this team to get to this point, as well as just to keep setting the standard of A&M softball?
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole reason why I came here, as I really wanted to help build this. I feel like this place is really special, the fan base, the 12th man, just all of those components. I think they deserve high-level softball. So what I'm most proud of, though, is this team, right? Like this year, they started off and we went through some, tough outings, and they just really responded well. And we knew it. We knew that they were going to get better as the season went on. And so they had to work really, really hard. Another really solid conference run for us, and knew they had to work hard in order to get this opportunity. You
were really honest, I think, at the beginning of the season about how you were going to have to tinker with this team.
Yeah.
And you had to do that in the offseason, whether that be the transfer portal game, the 2 big Oklahoma State transfers, of course, in Talon and Michaela, but you also do it in season. I mean, probably the biggest was a starting catcher with AK.
Yeah.
Just how pleased are you with how those moves turned out in season, off season, now heading into the postseason?
Yeah, I mean, I think AK in general was big for us. We didn't even have her this fall, and our lineup felt very different. And so AK, I think the theme about this team in general is just selflessness. You have Paisley Allen, who transferred to us from Georgia, who was a middle infielder, is playing left field for us. You have Talon Edwards, who's a Gold Glove third baseman, playing second base. And so I think, Maddie Sani started off as the catcher, and AK, who's never played outfield before, she's like, we need to get her bat in the lineup. She was playing right field. And so I think it just all of those pieces and their ability to move, I think is really what makes this team so strong. And so obviously AK has moved since then to behind the dish. Paisley, is playing left field, and Maddie's been huge for us. I mean, just somebody off the bench that continues to just be a hitting machine. So I think, overall, they've just done a really good job of understanding what we're trying to do and buying into it.
Yeah, and this team certainly has bought in, especially, I mean, you look at offensively, the numbers this year. I mean, you have 7 starters hitting north of 315. That's not even including Maddie Sani off the bench. Just some numbers. Maya Perez hitting 435 with 18 home runs this year. Kennedy Powell hitting 419. Just how important, I guess, for those 2 specifically has the leadership been, but also why do you think offense has been so contagious this year for you guys?
Well, I think Jeff is one of the best in the business, if not the best. And I think he understands, in the world of technology, he still has a great ability to coach. And I think at the core of things, that's what he does really, really well. So he understands the technology, he understands how to utilize that, but he also understands how to connect with his players. And we're not a cookie cutter team. And I think that's something that really sets us apart, as Maya's swing is different than KP's swing. And, somebody like KP, for example, this fall, she swung away the whole time because she wanted that to help her when she got to season. So she didn't do just the easy part, in the fall. She wanted to come in and work on some things, and I think it's really helped her. And so I think when you have people like Maya and KP who are continuing to work and they are the standard of the program, I think it really sets the table for everybody else.
And then we should talk about the pitching staff as well, because I know you said that was probably some of the bigger just day-to-day tinkering you had to do. And you have the 2 Sydneys, so to speak, so you're 1 and 2 with Lessentine and Peters. How confident are you in those 2 young ladies and getting the job done as we head into regionals?
Yeah, I'm confident. I think they've worked really, really hard. I think you've seen such huge growth out of both of them. Sid Peters has continued to get better and better and better, and we've been able to add some pitches to her arsenal, especially here late down the stretch. Lessentine has also done that, but we've also gotten some really good innings out of Kate Munnerlin, Taylor Pinnell. Grace Sparks came in and threw really well for us here at the end of the year. And so I think, all those pieces are going to be what really sets us apart, is that we do have the ability to come at you with some different looks.
Over 40 years ago, my parents started C&J Barbecue, and today we continue to honor Dad's legacy with the best barbecue in the Brazos Valley. With locations on Harvey Road, Southwest Parkway, and our newest location on William J. Bryan, we carry on our family tradition of serving up award-winning barbecue, sides, and desserts. We also offer delivery, catering, as well as custom menus and private chef services. Come visit us today for some of the best barbecue around. C&J Barbecue. The C is for Chip, the J is for Joe, and the barbecue is for you.
Yeah, let's now talk about this weekend coming up with the 4 teams that are coming to College Station. Obviously, it all starts with Connecticut on Friday. Just what are your thoughts on the regional field coming here?
Well, we have champions upon champions upon champions. That's how I feel. UConn obviously had a great run, great conference. Somebody that I think that will sneak up on any team, and they've played Florida State tough early in the year. They played Arkansas really tough earlier in the year, and so they're going to come out swinging, and it's going to be our job to make sure that we match that. We just have to play our brand of ball, and that's really been the message to our team this week. We've had a lot of practice of just being able to come out and play in our brand of ball. Arizona State, obviously, I don't know if there's any team that's hotter coming into postseason as ASU. Kinsey is, one of the top arms in the country, and they were swinging it like crazy. And then obviously we have McNeese, who we played them earlier in the year, but then after our game, they kind of, I think they went on like a 10-game win streak. I mean, it was high, and so. James does a great job there. Every year in and year out, they're a championship team. So we've got our work cut out for us, but that's the fun part.
I think we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the second team we discussed there, Arizona State. Obviously, you have quite an extensive history with them. You coached them for 6 years, got them to a Women's College World Series back in 2018. Weird or exciting to see them across the diamond in the other dugout this weekend?
Yeah, probably both. Yeah. I don't have any players, and I think that's when it gets weird, is when you have players that you coached or you recruited and they're on the other side. There's nothing there. I left there in a good term, so I hope that, there's not anything. I don't have anything bad to say about Arizona State, but I'm happy with my decision. So I think, obviously I had a great experience there. We played, really high ball there, but that's my job now, is to be at Texas A&M and get high-level ball here consistently.
Obviously, the last time that you guys hosted a regional, it's not a good memory. And you, what I really respect is you have not shied away from talking about that. Being the number 1 overall seed last year, first number 1 overall seed not to advance the Supers. What do you feel like your coaching staff has learned from that? And for the players that were here, how have they sort of carried that scar with them this year, and how much do you hope it motivates them?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you forget that. There's, and so I think we trained differently this year, and I think our players would tell you that. We trained in the bullpen differently. We trained on the field differently, in the batter's box. I think we do a good job as a staff, as after the year, is really doing a good assessment of where we did really, really well and what we didn't do really well. I think, we peaked at the SEC tournament championship, the tournament, and then obviously we ran into really hard and we didn't respond well. So our players will tell you that we have consistently over and over made things really, really hard for them to see how they respond. And I think you saw it this year. I mean, we had, moments in our season in which it was hard, and we went from Florida to California. We played really early games on the East Coast. We played really late games on the West Coast, and they responded well. And so that's really what this is about, is how do you respond to things that you can control.
And the most immediate thing they can respond to, of course, is the one in the SEC tournament. How do you feel like they have responded to that over the last week?
Yeah, I think practice has been good this week. I think they had a good team meeting. We practiced right away. So when we came back, we practiced, and I did give them a couple days to collect themselves, and then we went back to the field. And so I think they know what's at stake, and so many of our players went through what they went through last year, and so they know that we don't want to do that again this year.
as we just alluded to not too long ago, like you have coached a team to the Women's College World Series before, 11 straight tournaments, not including COVID. Is that correct for you? Something like that.
Sure.
Double digits.
Okay.
But you obviously know what it takes to survive and advance this tournament. If this group of Aggies is going to get to Oklahoma City, what is that going to look like, and how do you think they would be able to get that done?
Yeah, I think it's going to begin and end in the circle, to be honest with you. I think both Sids need to have a good outing, and I think, our lefties have to come in and give us some solid innings. And then I think, the other biggest thing is, in the batter's box is make it really hard for that opposing team. So we need the 12th man. Yeah, so the 12th man needs to come out and make it hard. But I think, really we got to pitch well, and we got to put some crooked numbers up.
She's Trisha Ford, the head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies softball team. Trisha, thanks so much for coming in and joining us today. Good luck at regionals, and it all gets started versus Connecticut Friday at 1 o'clock. This has been the Aggie Game Day Extra podcast. I guess that this means that Max and Travis and Tyler get to just put their feet up and do nothing this weekend. That's fine. That's fine, guys. I'll take it over. Enjoy the fun weekend of Diamond Sports we had here in Aggieland.